Ever thought of having your own little vegetable patch at home? If you haven't, you should. I mean, are you looking at the grocery bills these days? Growing your own crops doesn't just make financial sense, but nutritional too. It's time to brush the dirt off your green thumb. Look, growing your own food guarantees that you'll always have a supply on hand and that your meals will always have fresh ingredients. Yes, no more panic grocery run. And the biggest factor for me, the flavor and nutritional punch of freshly harvested fruits and vegetables remains unmatched. There's science behind that. Produce starts to lose moisture and nutrients as soon as it is harvested, even though you have little control over the freshness of store-bought vegetables. When you grow your own fruits and vegetables, you can track when they were picked and how fresh they are. Like I said, growing your own food has a number of benefits, a huge one of which is financial saving. Just think, the cost of a pack of seeds is about equal to the cost of one fruit or vegetable at the grocery store. For a lot less money than buying organic vegetables from the store, you can produce your own. You can choose crops that can be grown quickly and that don't require a lot of space to produce the same amount of food. Oh, and there are many fruits, veggies, and herbs that you can grow in pots and containers, even if you don't have a backyard. Which brings us to the question of what crops you can start with. To make your decision, remember this: the vegetables that take the longest to grow are generally the least expensive to purchase. So, even though things like cabbage, potatoes, brown onions, and carrots are inexpensive to purchase, growing them at home requires dedicating a sizable portion of your garden for 4 to 6 months. On the other hand, crops like snow peas that cost more to harvest are typically the ones that cost more to buy.
So you can see this seed pod in the back here is even bigger than that, so this one's quite ready to go.
These are also the crops that take up little room but produce a lot more over time. Another solid bet are herbs. For those little containers at the shop, fresh herbs can be really pricey.
Take the tips off, cutting back to a node, and what a node is where these little branches are starting to come off the side shoots. And again, remember to only harvest what you need.
But growing herbs at home is rather simple. Also, some plants are perennial, which means they grow year after year with no need for replacing. You don't need a huge garden to grow them because the majority can be grown in containers. For instance, basil can be grown in a variety of ways and is also very simple to grow. Then there's parsley, which typically survives the winter as well. Other commonly used herbs that are simple to grow are thyme, oregano, and mint. In fact, be careful with mint, it's a spreader. Now, if you're looking for some serious cost cutting, think heirloom tomatoes. The most popular and expensive organic crop available is probably this one. An heirloom tomato that's organic might cost up to $7 per pound. Although they are difficult to grow, the benefits are worthwhile. At home, one well cared for tomato plant may produce up to 10 pounds of tomatoes, which, even at a conservative $5 per pound, works out to $50 worth of tomatoes per plant. All in all, it might cost you around $15 to grow, but look at that crazy deal. Stunning. The next crop you can grow while saving on your bills is berry yummy. I mean, have you seen the price of berries in stores? I've saved a ton of money by growing my own berries. And the good part? After a few years, you'll consistently harvest quarts of berries every year. The best plant to start with is the strawberry. It's important that you choose ones that thrive in your area. They require little upkeep and are simple to grow. Another option is raspberries, which are pricey in stores. Now, buying canes to start growing is the biggest expense associated with growing your own raspberries, but they'll grow if you have someone give you a few starts. It's all about patience. Reap and you shall sow. Oh, and let's not forget blueberries. Super easy to grow, even more fun to snack on.
This, and you put your hands under it, and you just start to kind of pull on those dark blue, the really denim-y blueberries. Any that don't come off.
And at basically less than half the cost. Win-win! Now, if you're a fan of Asian and Mexican food, you need the good old bell peppers.
I'm gonna look at this smaller one, and as we feel it, we can feel that it's still, you can squeeze it a little bit.
Another of the priciest vegetables to get in a market with costs as high as $5 per pound. This is mostly because they're difficult to grow, but if you are successful, you'll profit from huge financial saving. Red peppers are among the top 12 crops to purchase organically, since they require a lot of spraying when cultivated conventionally. The maximum yield that a homegrown bell pepper plant can produce is 8 pounds, which works out to around $25 in total profit per plant at a price of $3 per pound. Trust me, I did the math. Say about $5 is spent on the transplant, fertilizer, labor, trellis, and pest and disease control while growing bell peppers. Still a fantastic deal. Oh, and if you're looking for some Recos, California Wonder, Ace, X3R Red Knight, and Ozark Giant are the types I recommend starting with. The next crop is great as an emoji and even better to grow, the humble eggplant. If the flea beetles can be controlled, this is yet another crop that can get you huge saving. A healthy crop of Japanese eggplant can produce up to 15 fruits per plant, while a more traditional bell variety can produce up to 5 pounds per plant. You're looking at a value of roughly $12.50 per plant, because organic eggplant at the grocery store will cost about $2.50 per pound. Speaking of the cost, to grow it is roughly around $5 per plant, so you're still more than doubling your investment, even though it's not as profitable as some of the other crops. To start with, I advise Black Beauty and Orient Express, as they're the types with the finest yield. Oh, and all shapes and sizes matter. Now, I'm gonna judge you if you don't use this, because for me, having a garlic plant will cut the bills in half. Garlic, when grown organically, can cost up to $16 per pound. Even though it requires 9 months of space in the garden, the majority of those months are in the winter. The good news is you can grow a lot of garlic in a small area. At a price of $10 per pound, a bed of garlic can produce roughly 6 pounds of garlic, which is worth $60. Your expense? The time required to plant and harvest 1 pound of $10 or so garlic seed. There are many different options available. Choose an artichoke variety like Inchellium Red, Polish White, or California Early if you want the most productive one. That'll produce around 10 to 12 pounds of bulbs for just 1 pound of seed. Bring on those garlic breads. Now, let us tell you about another easy peasy crop to grow. Hello Healthy Eating at a fraction of the cost. Now that lettuce costs $2 or more each bunch or head, you can spend way less money by growing your own, especially if, like me, you enjoy eating a lot of salads in the summer. Oh, and the best part? You're not restricted to the store's selection. You can buy seeds for so many lettuce varieties. There aren't many foods that taste better than fresh lettuce, making it a wonderfully rewarding crop for a backyard garden. There are more than 500 seeds in a normal $4 packet of lettuce seeds, so if half of them grow, you'll have around 250 heads of lettuce at $3 per head. That's $750 worth of lettuce from a $4 packet of seeds. Okay, you must account for labor, compost, and fertilizer, but the return on your investment is huge. Plant this and you'll have more salad than you and your neighbors can eat. That's all for now. Get growing. See you soon.